All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about something massive, a huge shift that's happening right now. Look, if you're building an AI company, investing in one, or even just trying to keep up, chances are the playbook you're using is, well, it's totally obsolete. We're going to break down exactly why those old rules just don't work anymore.
In this quote, it just nails it. The metrics we use to measure success are broken. I mean, think about that. The very bedrock of how we value software companies, the numbers we've leaned on for a decade, they're not just a little inaccurate for AI. No, they are actively, dangerously misleading. We're not talking about a minor adjustment here. This is a full-blown crisis in how we measure anything.
Okay, so let's start with the biggest sacred cow of them all, annual recurring revenue. You know it is ARR. For what, a decade? It's been the holy grail for every SaaS company out there. But for these new AI native companies, it's basically a ghost. It's just not real. Now, when you first see a chart like this, your jaw just kind of hits the floor. It's incredible, right? Traditional SaaS companies, I mean, they'd grind it out for 5, maybe even 10 years to hit that magic $100 million ARR number. And these new AI companies, they're smashing that goal in less than 2 years. The growth is just, it's absolutely explosive. But here comes the twist. Because that incredible speed, it's a total vanity metric. It's a mirage. It looks like success. It sure feels like success. But the thing is, it has almost zero connection to actual long-term value. In this new AI world, how fast you get to a big revenue number tells you next to nothing about whether your business is healthy or if it's going to be around next year.
So what is the real problem? If that rocket ship growth isn't our North Star anymore, what's actually going on under the hood? I mean, why is this metric, this thing that served us so well for so long, suddenly just broken? Well, it all comes down to what that revenue is actually made of.
And this really shows you the heart of it. The old SaaS world was all about stickiness. You remember, right? These systems were a pain to set up, and once they were in, they were even harder to rip out. That gave you predictable, reliable, long-term revenue. AI, it's the complete opposite. Customers are signing deals with like 3-month get-out-of-jail-free cards. They're running bake-offs with 3 of your competitors at the same time. This revenue isn't sticky. It's slippery as heck.
So this is the crucial part. What these AI companies are calling ARR, it's often not annual, it's not truly recurring, and you could argue it's not even real revenue in the traditional sense. It's not annual if your customers can bail in 90 days. It's not recurring if it's just pilot money from a bunch of experiments. And that last point says it all. Growing 200% means absolutely nothing if you're churning 180%. You're just running on a hamster wheel.
So what should we be looking at instead? Forget the flashy ARR number. Look at this, average contract length. It sounds simple, I know, but it's so powerful. Here's the bottom line. If your average contract isn't locked in for more than 12 months, your ARR figure is basically a work of fiction. This right here is the new litmus test for whether your revenue is real.
All right, so ARR is broken. That's a huge problem. But what about the other half of the classic SaaS equation, unit economics? Well, the news there is even worse. AI didn't just bend the rules of unit economics, it took a sledgehammer to them. I mean, this just lays it all out. The reason everyone fell in love with SaaS was those gorgeous 80% plus gross margins, right? You build a thing once, and every new customer is basically pure profit. It was a beautiful model. With AI, every single time a customer does something, anything, it costs you real money. You're paying for an API call to OpenAI or Anthropic or whoever. Your costs are now variable, and they scale right alongside your usage. This puts your margins in a constant state of siege.
And that old, high-margin world gave birth to the gold standard for a healthy software business, the Rule of 40. You know the one. Your growth rate plus your profit margin needs to add up to 40% or more. For years, that was the ultimate balancing act between growing fast and being profitable.
Well, guess what? Given the completely new cost structure of AI companies, that rule is now officially a dinosaur. It's a relic. Trying to judge an AI company by a standard that was built for a totally different business model, it just makes zero sense. So what's the new baseline? Well, we're talking about something closer to 60%. And you might be thinking, whoa, why so much higher? It's because AI isn't just a product you sell. It's a tool that should make your own company hyper-efficient. An AI-native company should be able to run way leaner than a traditional software company. And that massive productivity boost, you have to see it in the numbers. Okay, so let's just recap where we are. The old playbook is totally broken. ARR is a vanity metric, and unit economics are completely upside down. So what now? Where do we go from here? Well, it's pretty clear we need a brand new playbook with a whole new set of metrics built specifically for this AI-native world.
And this new framework is really built on 3 key pillars. It's pretty straightforward. First, we have to completely redefine what quality revenue even means. Second, we need a unit economics 2.0. And third, we've got to get way smarter about how we measure real, actual retention and stickiness.
So let's break that down. For revenue quality, the first pillar, we have to stop obsessing over these fantasy, forward-looking ARR numbers. Instead, we look at that average contract length we talked about, we focus on LTM ARR, that's last 12 months ARR, it's what you actually build, not what you hope to bill. We need to know our revenue at risk, like what percentage of our clients could just walk out the door in the next 6 months, and, maybe most importantly, we have to track our pilot to production conversion. How many of those free trials are turning into real paying customers? Okay, pillar number 2, unit economics 2.0. This is where we have to get really granular. Forget one single gross margin number for the whole company. We need to track it by customer cohort so we can see if we're actually getting more efficient as we go. We absolutely have to know our cost per AI action. That is the fundamental building block of the whole business. And then there's risk. How dependent are we on one AI model provider? And finally, what's the actual plan? What's the trajectory for making these margins better over time?
And the third pillar, retention and stickiness. Again, we stop with the misleading stuff like annualized churn. Let's just look at actual real monthly churn. We also have to get way past just counting active users. We need to measure the depth of that usage. How tangled up is our AI in our customers' day-to-day work? How hard would it really be for them to leave? And I love this one. Value realization time. How fast, we talk in hours, days, weeks, does it take for a new customer to get a real, tangible aha moment from your product?
So, look, when you bring this all together, it's pretty clear this isn't just about changing a few cells in a spreadsheet. This is a complete, fundamental shift in mindset. It's about moving away from measuring vanity and ego and toward measuring real, durable, sustainable value.
And the path forward from here is actually pretty clear, depending on who you are. If you're a founder, you have to stop chasing the ghost of SaaS ARR. Just stop. Focus on locking in long-term contracts and show a real, believable path to healthy margins. And if you're an investor, you need to take that old SaaS playbook and honestly just light it on fire. Because if you keep using those old metrics to judge these new companies, you are going to make some incredibly expensive mistakes.
At the end of the day, this quote just says it all. The winners in this new AI landscape, they won't just be the ones with the coolest tech. The real winners will be defined by their business discipline. They'll be the ones who actually understand and build their companies around the metrics that truly matter in this new world. So we'll just leave you with this one question to think about. This revolution in how we measure success, it's not coming. It's already here. So the only real question is, are you going to adapt your metrics before your competitors do? Are you going to lead this change, or are you going to be left playing catch-up? Thanks for tuning in.